So I'm going to walk you through the steps and how I prepare my boards for planing because they've set out for so long. As you can see, some bugs has already got, beetles have got in here and ate up some of it. Some of this will be actually used probably later on. Some of these pieces like this, I ain't sure yet. Maybe to make some really neat tabletops, but right now I'm just cleaning them and then stacking them up, getting them ready to plane when I get enough of them. Some of this is really nasty dirt. So it also lets me see if it'll make a full thickness. It'll also let me see if there's any nails that I missed. And this looks like this will be a good one. Putting stack for now. One of the reasons I wear the apron is try to keep myself a little cleaner. But with a wire wheel, them wires shoot back, hit you in the leg, anywhere they can, and it's bad. So definitely want to wear some protection. I moved you over in the shade because this dang thing is getting super hot and shutting down. So go get another board. We'll go through a couple more of these. Started cleaning this the other day, and I'm not sure, I think it's sawed out of railroad lumber, pie lumber. I won't know for sure until I plane it down. If it is, I've got good uses for it. It'll last for a long time, so I can make gates and stuff out of it. Not sure about it. It may just be where they spilt oil for years. Either way, it'll be more or less treated. The more I look at this, the more I think this is probably the shelf underneath the workbench. Seems like it's got a lot of metal flakes from grinding in it. Oh, a couple boards. Alright, I gotta take a break. I actually got 4 or 5 projects that I could be working on. I'm doing siding for a building, floor joists for a different building. I'll be cutting studs, flooring, whatever I can get out of this lumber, I'm going to try to use the maximum amount. I think these were railroad trestles. beams or something. I mean, this is just like a railroad tie that got hot in the summer. So these are going to be, I'll probably have to end up being made into gates and stuff for fencing. I don't want it near any of my buildings that I'll be using for different things. Well, I don't know how many people actually know what rough saw lumber is. The stuff you buy at Home Depot, Lowe's, places like that, it's really smooth. It's either been cut with a bandsaw and it turned out really smooth, or they planed it to size. And it's always, for the most part, not always, but a 1/2 inch shy. So if it's a 2 by 6, it's actually 1.5 inches by 5.5. Now some of them, like some of the 2 by 10s I got, was actually 9 1/4. So I don't know how all that works. On rough sawed, it's sawed with a circular sawmill. And if you look at all the check marks, this is where the saw, when this was fed in, this is where the saw was cutting down into it. So on rough sawed lumber, depending on what it is, it can be a full 2 inch by a full 10 inch, which that's probably what this is. It can be, if it's going to Chicago for the steel mills, they have all kinds of different dimensions, but if you cut a 2 by 4 on rough cut, it's still a 1.5 inches by 3.5. So I don't know. Like I said, this is kind of a custom saw, so it's going to be like almost 2 inches or more by the width. And probably what it was is they squared a log up to that size and then run 2-bys off of it. So and this wood was cut in 1972. It come from an old sawmill. So this is some of the rougher stuff that we got, and some of it was already a little bad, had rotten spots in it. But mostly, I'd say quite a bit of this is from the way I stored it, thinking that I would get around to it sooner than I did. And that's why I'm going through it, cleaning it, make sure there ain't no grits, gravels, dirt that's going to destroy my planer blades, double check and make sure there's no nails that was left in it, and just cleaning it up and seeing what I can make out of it. By cleaning it off like that, I see rough spots or rotten spots that needs to go lower, and like the end of that one I just cleaned is a little rotten, but the rest of it's pretty decent. So I'll just plane and get it as smooth as I can for what I need it, and if that rotten end don't plane down, then I'll just cut it off, and there's not a whole lot in it anyway, so from what I can see here. Quite a bit thicker than the other ones have been. So the red chalk mark, crayon mark that I put on here, even though there's probably a couple more, just lets me know that this side, that has a nail in it. So if I got to cut this down the size, I got to make sure that I got to account for that nail. That way I don't bust teeth or my planer blades. This was done when we cleaned them and put them in the stack. This was a floor joist, big floor joist.